Okay, so it will be a demo-less presentation, but it will be a presentation and hopefully you will have fun. Yeah, sorry. So my talk will be on the 3 ways of running K3s, theoretically now, not practically. Just believe me, it works. But wait, I lie already. There's 4 ways to run K3s, okay? Sorry, there's a bit hot here. That's just for the crowd. I don't know with this tongue, but yeah, the shirt looks great and 1 + 2 = 3, K3s, welcome. Oh yeah, sorry, thank you. Oh yeah. All right, so just relax. Yesterday, everyone went to the party, I guess. You have some headache or earache, as we call it in French. So just relax. It will be actually only a talk, not demo. So here is the waypoints that we will go through. First, introduction about K3s, what is the architecture behind, some use cases, because yeah, it's nice to have a project, but what for? And then we will deep dive into K3d, Rancho, and Sibo. I counted 3. The 4th, well, it's K3s itself, because K3s can be installed on bare metal. So my name is Nuno do Carmo. I'm a tech writer for SUSE. Okay, the evangelist is not here, so I can tell it my way, SUSE. And I'm known as the Corsair. Because this talk I've already given it before, I will ask my partner to come, which is Siam normally, but he's not here, so we will just have the second best, which is Siam GPT. So he works at Civo and is leading the kubesimplify community, which is great. And again, this is a fiction, so just enjoy. All right, so the first one, it will be the 3 points here directly, so we will talk about K3s itself. All right, it doesn't be it's a PowerPoint on a Mac, so excuse the, it shouldn't be doing that. That's nice. Okay, so what's K3s? K3s is actually a CNCF sandbox project, so it has been created by Rancho and given to the CNCF years ago now. And it's a fully Kubernetes certified distribution. What it means is like it passed all the tests that needs to be passed, actually to be certified by the CNCF as a Kubernetes distribution. Now I will let you read everything. The really important point here is like it's not a fork of Kubernetes. So if you think about Linux, think about like Ubuntu and Kubuntu or Lubuntu or Xubuntu or whatever. It's a flavor, okay? It's not like Ubuntu and Debian. So it's not a fork of Kubernetes. What they did, and I say they because I'm not the inventor, I'm just the tech writer. So what they did is they took out a lot of these cloud plugins that might come with Kubernetes that are a bit bloated for local deployment or at edge deployment, because you might not need the Azure CNI plugin or the Azure compatibility or whatever, they have plugins. Amazon or whatever, okay? So it's a single binary, which is kind of nice, so you can just download the K3s and run K3s. It will bring some tools with it, which is CRI, CRI-CTL, so you can just do a K3s space CRI-CTL and something, okay? That's why, and the battery is included, okay, it will be along the talk, but it's like, it brings everything that you need to be up and ready by default, so it's not secure, okay, it's secure by default, but it's not that secure, it's not that configured, but by default you will have several tools that you can just simply use kubectl and deploy applications against it. So the architecture, there's, I will speak about 2 architectures. Along the slides you will see that the docs are mentioned, not the website, because I'm a tech writer, and the docs are better than the home page anyway. So, so here it's a single node approach where we have like, okay, not single node, but single server, single control plane with the database embedded, which will be SQLite by default. And then you can attach like 3 nodes. We will see. Actually, we won't, but I have demos here if you want to see it afterwards. So here you can deploy like 3 nodes and it will connect to the control plane, and then you have your worker nodes. And at the far side to the right, you can see that there's also the load balancer, so your applications are accessible from external. Then we have a bit more complex architecture, which will be a multi-node HA, so high availability. Here you can see that you have like the load balancer, could be kubevip, for example, but you have a external load balancer that reach like the 3 control plane nodes first. So you can, let's say, when you do a kubectl command, it will reach whatever control plane is active, and then it will like again connect to all the worker nodes, and finally you have the load balancer on the end that actually will let you reach your application. Now the external database, there are several. Everything is described in the docs. Can be etcd, that's the preferred nowadays. Could be MySQL or whatever. Okay. So the use case, hey, this animation actually works on Mac. Okay. So the use cases are like K3s was built to be, let's say, small, like really small, optimized. So the first thinking that we have is edge cases. So now edge cases, it's not only Raspberry Pis, okay, on your desk or smaller devices. It can simply be other hard to get or with lower storage, maybe iCompute, I don't know, like wind turbines, for example. I don't know the computation that they have there, but might be the storage, might be not the biggest thing. So you can have like K3s deployed for these kind of edge devices. Of course, I say it's not the main point, but one of them will be IoT, so Internet of Things. So here, the smaller it is, yet powerful, we still limited in terms of power. Even ARM is getting bigger, like Sherry will show us, but still we are still limited for certain devices. So here K3s is really good at fitting, let's say, the environment it's installed in. And then there's a lot of things like, okay, we have ARM, yeah. So that was written by CyanGPT, by the way, but so K3s, because of the simplicity, right? I don't know, anyone read the Kubernetes the hard way by Kelsey? Okay, so that's the opposite of the spectrum, because you just download one binary and you run it, right? You don't have to create your cluster from scratch, which is good to do once in a while, like Linux from scratch is the same, so. But yeah, but anyway, so K3s really, let's say, can be adapted to your use case. There's others, of course, I won't speak about them, but there's others that might be in the same realm, but K3s really grew to be, I'll say, almost on par with the Kubernetes distribution nowadays. There's a lot of projects that use actually K3s as the backend. Sibo one being one of them, still. All right, so here normally there's a nice animation, but okay, it went through? Yeah, okay. So the talk will be really short, so you will have time for you. Okay, so hopefully nobody is epileptic here because the animation. All right, so K3D, read it. I mean, K3D does all. K3D was created by Torsten Klein, a community member that worked at some point as a contractor for SUSE, and now is on his own, but still maintaining the K3D project. K3D is really used a lot, especially on CIs, typically, or The nice demo that I have on the laptop that you cannot see will also leverage some capabilities of K3d. So over the time, K3d evolved to be more almost like a Kubernetes management, to the point that you can create like a multinode, HA, now you have load balancer. And for the ones who know Docker and how ports opening occur, normally like you open the ports before you run, right? And on runtime, you are like kind of blocked with the ports opening. Well, K3d did some magic now that you can open ports after the cluster is created without the need of destroying the cluster and taking the cluster up again. This is quite nice, actually, okay? Because you will gain time. The magic, I know a little bit, but the magic is that they created a load balancer node that you don't see when you do a kubectl get nodes. You won't see it. It's a pure K3d, let's say, feature. And this node is the one that is being recreated on Docker. So it will get crashed, get up, but you don't see it on your cluster. And then the port is open from a Docker perspective. So there's a two-layer abstraction here. We have the Kubernetes that sits on top of Docker, and that's important. It's only Docker runtime, it's not containerd yet ready, but it's still on a container, and then finally the container is the one with ports open. So that's why they had to create that. There's a really nice CLI that was created since day one. On version 5, though, they swapped the verb, non-verb. Okay, so before it was like kind, for example, it was K3d create cluster, and now it's cluster create. Okay, believe me, these small change, or small, not really small, because if you have scripts, you have to change them. But that was one of the features that was the most like criticized. Now it's okay, but at the time it was, you could speak about whatever else, but because the verb non was changed, then swapped, I would say, then people get crazy. All right, so I think it's okay. Yeah, everything was, and yeah, they use again like K3s. They use the load balancer is Nginx, the one node that I said. It has the ingress with traffic, and the backend DB is the embedded one. Remember the first example, which is SQLite. All right, Rancho Desktop. Now it's more into my realm. You good? You need some time to... We have time, I mean, there's no demo, we have time, okay? No, not too fast, sorry. All right, so, by the way, okay, I won't go back, because other else everyone will spasm, but it's the official logos, the ballpoints. So K3d was K3d, maybe it was too light, but this one is the logo of Rancho Desktop. So Rancho Desktop, I can talk a little bit more about it. Tu l'as sur ta machine? Ouais. Never trust the French. Okay, so... All right, we have to discuss after. So, Rancho Desktop, first of all, who uses Docker Desktop? That's great. I'm a Docker captain, by the way, so working at Civo, so it's like I have a split personality right there. But Rancho Desktop was created before, that's important now, before Docker Desktop implemented the subscriptions. So the fact that Rancho Desktop came out at the same time as the subscription model for Docker Desktop, and everyone wanted to swap or switch, whatever, pure opportunities, like pure luck. And I swear, that's just not me being Suze here, it's pure luck. And the thing is, like, everyone thought that Rancher created Rancho Desktop because of that. No, Rancher created Rancho Desktop initially, now mind the words, already? Without demo? 5 minutes. Seriously? wow, okay, so I wouldn't have time for demo anyway. I will speed up now. So initially they created to have a nice and full-featured Kubernetes distribution on your desktop, okay? Easy to manage, with the Rancher dashboard potentially attached, and so on. The sources are fully open, which Docker Desktop is not. I won't shoot too much onto Docker Desktop, I love it. But Rancho Desktop is full open source. You can get to the slides and everything. Battery included again, because it's K3s. We were the first, however, so now it's going back and forth. We were the first to have like the 3 OSs. How many wanted Docker Desktop for Linux, potentially, like some capabilities on Linux, and we didn't get it. So now you have it, but first Rancho Desktop was there. And there's a management of Kubernetes. So we specialize into Kubernetes on the desktop. If you use Docker Desktop, or potentially, yeah, Podman is a bit different yet, but you have like the latest version of Kubernetes. You cannot choose. When you are developing your application, you want to target a specific version. With Rancho Desktop, you can do it, okay? Call on latest is a no-no in all aspects of development when you deploy. So here you can set your version. It cannot do multi-node officially. That was part of my demo. So if you want to see it, come to me after. And there's now, okay, there's the UI, of course, but there's also RDCTL, or control, or whatever, curl, that is part of it. Finally, Civo, we good? 2 minutes still? Okay, Civo, who never heard about them? Yeah, blue shirts, I know, blue shirts, that's, avoid them. Okay, so, so again, that was the Siam GPT that wrote it, so I'll let you just read it, but Civo, since its inception, I will just mention one thing really important. They are pro-community, believe me. So you can get your $250 now, code, not the Corsair, no code actually, but you can get it for 1 month, you can try it out, especially now with all the announcements. There's other, apparently there's other Kubernetes runtimes that they are implementing, but stay on K3s, show them K3s love. And one thing that is really important is the third before last, is the transparent pricing. When I deploy, I spoke with another cloud provider, but when I deploy at Civo, I know exactly how much it will cost me. Like it's on the page of creation. Others still have calculators, and I'm not speaking about the big three. I'm speaking about other cloud providers where I just deploy, and it's like, well, inshallah. Let's see how much I will get. Yeah, and therefore there was this last point that you will never see because it's on my laptop, and that was all the chat that I was for you. So let's just enjoy the chat, please, and that's all. So Siam GPT was about to help me about how to run a demo. The first demo was how to run K3s on a Civo compute node. And that's quite easy. That is the commands. You can use a project called Ketchup, actually, that's how you spell it, by Alex Ellis, big star. And that's the command, that's all. So it worked in my demo. Not on my computer, in my demo. Okay, so then Siam GPT actually knows that we are at Civo Navigate. I don't know how. And okay, so it tells me to deploy on Civo. This is the command actually. Yeah, red card, I know. I'm getting there. I lost 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Who is the next speaker? Oh, okay, sorry. 2 minutes. That's on me. I will give you chocolate again. So, this is really short, as you can tell. Nothing as Azure or AWS CLI or whatever, even maybe DigitalOcean, I don't know. They're getting there, but okay, but what do I get with that? That was really like the question, because, well, that's the default. So the defaults on Civo are quite good, I would say. HA, because you have the control planes, but you don't, I mean, it's a managed Kubernetes. But then you have 3 worker nodes, medium size, and actually the storage is the same storage across all offerings. I tested it with Siam actually. So they have, yeah, they have like, I don't know, the blue ones will answer. Okay, so then he makes fun of me because I'm an ambassador, I should know that, but I don't. And finally, the last one was how to create actually a Rancho Desktop multinode, because it's not part of it. So the last command, as you can tell, there's variables. Get back to me if you have any questions. I will post my demo somehow, or I'll make a demo and I will post it on YouTube somewhere. And voila, you have a multi-node K3s, or Rancho Desktop actually, cluster. No questions, no time. No, yeah, K3s uses SSH to connect to a remote computer and install K3s. Yeah, Ketchup. Ketchup uses SSH. It connects to the compute node and installs bare metal K3s.
And use the token, right? Use the token to...
Yeah, SSH. So, and there's a -- local if you want to run it on your own, let's say Linux or WSL, of course, everyone runs it, or Lima, by the way. You can actually install K3s like that. Ketchup -- local.
And any words on the difference between K0s and K3s?
No real feedback, because I know the guys from Mirantis. I tested it actually, K0s. The thing is, like, K0s uses or leverages systemd a lot, so it's a lot of processes. K3s will be one process, like you'll just see K3s and that's it. And K0s will be a lot of, there will be a process for the kubelet, a process for I don't know, CNI and so on. So you will see like a lot of processes popping up. But in terms of size, in terms of load, yes, I know, it's no, it's all good. It should be the same. It's like micro-K3s, but micro-K3s is like local computing. If you want bigger computing from them, it's Charmed, which now it's bigger Kubernetes. Thank you.